man Mouthpiece, Voice of Venice Beach, and I appreciate y'all hanging out at the office. Yeah!
Welcome to a special edition of On My Momma Podcast, man. It's your boy Mouthpiece, Voice of Venice Beach. Coming to you, man, with the first ever episode, man, of On My Momma. We got a nice little segment going on for you, but first of all, we're going to start off with a little background story about why I want to do this and why we got this going. I do a lot of entertainment type of basketball. I come through and light up a event, be the MC, guest host, whatever you want to call it. I've done big guest events with such the likes as Quavo, James Harden, LeBron, a couple of people to be exact. And, I just came up through playing basketball basically. And next thing you know, a guy discovered me by the name of Matty D. He basically said, man, you funny. The way this thing is going on, man, you should go ahead and host this event for us. And it was a 2-on-2 Nike tournament, for $2,000. I was just a little friend of some of the ball players, man, that kind of give me, I guess you could say I was just rooting on the homeboy and it turned into a career. Next thing you know, they asked me to host it. And I've been hosting it, hosting events like it ever since for the last 10 years. Been all over the country, dealt with all types of brands, Nike, Adidas, Puma, any shoe company you could think of, I done dealt with them. When it comes to basketball, man, I love, dealing with particular tournaments to go ahead and give people that don't make a living in basketball a shot to make some money at the game that they love. But now I done moved my way up to a couple of things, man. When I walk into a party, man, I light up the room, so I make sure that the events be popping. Be sure to go check out my show. Right now it's on Amazon Prime, Dunk League Season 2. Be on the lookout for Dunk League Season 3 coming at you. We got some other things going on, celebrity games. We're about to get back to the original way of life. 2020 shut us down. The beach was supposed to be popping for us this summer, man. And, the plague took over, man. We couldn't even deal nothing else. So, Mouthpiece had to take a little bit of breather. Most of the country had to take a breather. But we getting back to the regular things of life. We getting back to people hooping, people being out, people having fun. And, your boy Mouthpiece about to bring you some real live events, man, coming to you soon. But this podcast is where we going to start dropping that science and dropping that knowledge and dropping that truth about everything going on, that I care about. I don't give a shit about what else is going on. It's what I care about. So we going to get this popping, man. My first thing we going to talk about is the NBA. We got some things going on as far as understand this. The bubble is what it is. It was either not having any type of sports or having sports. Too much money involved to just be like, nah, we ain't gonna have it. You got all the betting going on. You got the owners. They didn't put too much money into these people's pockets. Somebody gotta get something going on. They had to figure it out. They went down to Orlando, did the whole bubble. And, I'm happy for them. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. You look at this situation as being kind of funny style in the first place. One of the biggest plagues that we've ever had in the history of the United States, and the only thing that can save us is cloth mask. That's crazy. How is that possible, man? You got biohazards where people need hazmat suits, whole thing quarantined off with all kinds of different things. But you mean to tell me an airborne disease and we can't do nothing else but put a mask on and we should be safe? Knock it off. So, because they're paying everybody on the court millions of dollars, they had to figure it out. Florida, one of the states that happened to be the first states to go back to regular life, they decided to go take it down there to Disney World. Now, you had ball players that were against it. You had ball players that were for it. I understand that, you didn't have the time to like work out and everybody was shut off and this, that, and the third or what have you. But I'm sure that, rich as some of you guys are, you had indoor courts. You had some type of facility or something somewhere that you could have got your workout in. You didn't prepare yourself. Maybe you just didn't want to. Now, some people are trying to say that they didn't want to do it because of everything that was going on in the world about police killing black people. That could be part of it. But you have to understand something too. Everybody is on the same page as far as it's wrong. But people still have lives to live. You know what I mean? So, you can't sit up here and try to tell somebody that is living a particular lifestyle to just cut off their lifestyle and try to get into the justice system that's been doing this to us for years. Like, what can their millions really do? They can't tell that judge to say, oh, yeah, guilty. So, I mean, you have to understand they're making a stand by some type of expression. When you ask them certain questions, they are actually talking about the people that were killed. So, they're using their platform the best way that they can. So when they wanted to get back to what they feel is regular life, what made them who they are, I don't see nothing wrong with that. They wanted to finish the season. You got some people, like most of these ball players will tell you, you got some people that live for sports. Sometimes if they team loses, they feel like the rest of their year is shitty. But sometimes when people up there get a championship out of their team, the rest of their year goes smooth. Now they start investing in good things. You know what I mean? Whole way of life is a little bit better for them. They feel a little bit more confident about going forward. So, we got some teams that are in the finals right now that, number one, we're going to talk about the Heat. Only people from Florida thought the Heat was going to win. I'm talking about not Miami. Like, Miami fans, we're going to say Miami Heart fans, of course. But them backwoods, them real hood parts of Miami, they didn't think it. Now that they doing, when they first got past that first round, they was like, Miami might have a shot. But when I tell you the tone in people's voices when they were beating Milwaukee was like no other. I've never seen a city of people just rise up and have their chest so big. But I swear to you, shout out to Jimmy Butler, shout out to Crowder, shout out to Hero, shout out to Robinson, Dragic, Big Bam. Y'all really got together, man, and made a run for the city of Miami that nobody else on this planet would have thought you did besides the people from Florida. And to be honest with you, man, shout out to that boy Hero. Hero did his thing. They may be down 4-1. He's a rookie. Understand he's a rookie and he just broke some records in the most made threes by a rookie. So be on the lookout for him in the future, man. He did his thing. But, LeBron, AD, them Lakers, man, they something else, man. Anybody that got LeBron, I'm just letting you know right now, they're a contender. Say what you want to say. The only thing that you can say bad about LeBron is the fact that y'all hate he flops. That's crazy. That's crazy. The man does everything there is in a stat line. Every stat. Points, rebounds, assists, blocks, steals. You can't say he don't. So how you going to hate on him just because of the simple fact he left? Just because he left? The dude in Cleveland, we were just talking about this the other day. The dude in Cleveland took dudes to the finals that nobody else cares about. You understand that? Nobody else on that team you can really think of unless you Google the team. Nobody's going to the Hall of Fame. None of them. None of them. Verajao, Drew Gooden, Eric Snow, Larry Hughes, Ilgauskas. Ilgauskas happens to be a Hall of Famer in his country. That's it. And that's insane, bro. This man carried a team. My man put out a stat when they played against Detroit. LeBron James had 48 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. The rest of the team, the highest person, had 13 points. That's a shame. Everybody else single digits. Some people just showed up to look nice in the uniform. So you have to understand something. LeBron's been carrying teams. Any team that he has, they say, oh, he ain't doing it without Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving had the sorriest team in the NBA, not the East, the NBA, the year before LeBron came back to Cleveland. The worst team in the NBA went from the bottom to number 1 in 1 year because of one man. He knows how to get a team to rally behind him, and they can be the greatest YMCA All-Stars ever. That's how he gets down. You have to understand that. The man made it. I remember very vividly people saying, hey, if LeBron James ever comes to the West, it would never be like that. No way. Now people saying the Warriors is down. Man, they lost KD. They're not the same power team. So what are you talking about? Who's going to guard LeBron? Y'all got rid of Iguodala. I mean, the other big dude, he ain't going to be able to keep up with LeBron the whole game. So, I mean, you trying to say the ifs and the fifths and whatever the case may be. There's a lot of ifs and fifths in all kinds of championship series. Let's talk about what the year has done. He beat some of the great teams out here. Houston was a good team. Dallas was a good team. He didn't beat Dallas, but Denver. Denver, to me, is the new, young San Antonio Spurs. That's just how I look at them. They play team ball. Spurs just never had a dead-eye shooter that can take over a game like Murray. They play more team-oriented. Like, it'll be 3 people with 20 points. And that's just how it goes. So I definitely will say this. LeBron has came over to the East, made the Lakers number 1. They said it was a short season. I believe San Antonio Spurs won on a short season. They played against some good contenders. They won theirs. They want to say there's an asterisk next to that. Okay, cool. Let it be an asterisk, but he got his. In a quarantine aspect, you have to understand, and I think a couple of my partners were saying this, it's way different playing in a crowd full of thousands. That pressure and everything else is way different. You go into a whole nother city, shit is hostile. People yelling at you, telling you all kinds of, go home, you suck, and all this other shit. You have to understand something. To play underneath that pressure makes you great. When you can play in a bubble, like some people say, it's like a big game of pickup. So I look at it like, regardless if it's pickup or not, you still have the skilled players of the NBA playing in it. It is what it is. I think now, you playing in a bubble, you should definitely be a little bit more calmer. You should probably just go off because you don't have to worry about the crowd. You have nothing to worry about, so there's no excuses. You didn't have to travel. You just walk downstairs. So, LeBron is where he's at. Anytime a great player has a second player, count on them to win. Jordan did it with Pippen. Shaq did it with Kobe. Shaq did it with Wade. Kobe did it with Gasol. It is what it is. So you can hate him all you want, but you can't take away the rings. He's now going to get his 4th one out of 10 years. I mean, 10-year run at the finals, man. I can't knock that man at all. And if you hating on that, you hating on greatness. And personally, I could care less what you think. LeBron James, congratulations on the fourth one, because I'm going to tell you right now, I believe it's going to go down. I don't believe no 3-1 lead. They going to let them come back. I hate to say it, unless AD gets injured somehow, it ain't happening. So congratulations to the Lakers on winning another championship, but congratulations to LeBron. That's who I truly care about. And shout out to my man Quinn Cook. You know what I'm saying? I've been knowing him since he was 13 years old. Big ups to him. He journeyed real hard from, college to the G League to the pros and wind up being, somebody that is well-liked and well-respected in the NBA. So shout out to him and, big ups to the whole squad over there. Now we moving on to that NFL, that pigskin. We getting down to the nitty-gritty of the pigskin, man. I'm glad they started the season off. I'm going to be honest with you. It's weird because it feels like the NBA could have did the same thing. It's kind of weird that you're traveling from state to state, getting on planes or private planes, whatever the case may be, and you're actually doing games in other states. So I just want to know, what was the difference of the NBA doing it? Why is it not an NFL bubble? That's kind of strange to me. But is it because we so far into it now that they didn't figure out a way to kind of like cut down the actual spread? I don't know. I just feel like this. It seems backwards because now you have teams falling off or players falling off. We got Derrick Henry for the Tennessee Titans caught it, and then other players caught it, stopping my Pittsburgh, undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers right now, from getting another win. You know what I mean? But we had to postpone that game. We get a bye real early. You know what I mean? That doesn't go over well with the black and yellow, but it is what it is. When it comes to Cam Newton caught it. And then when Cam Newton caught it, it was like, oh, man. But this was the weird thing. Cam Newton caught it, but they allowed the rest of the team to play the game. So I was like, so Cam Newton ain't high-fiving nobody? He ain't touching nobody on the sideline, no nothing? So the team was just clear. He is just Cam Newton. All right. So that happened. And then, you got, I think it was another team that had to fall off too. I just look at it like this. Is this going to keep happening throughout the rest of the season to the point where the season is just longer? Because they're going to have to keep quarantining people and quarantining people. Is at some point, either it's going to be totally gone or we're going to have some more cases. I'm just wondering, at what point are they going to get a hold of it and then we just go ahead and, because they said now, I think Florida is allowing fans to come into the stands, and it's going to be, more and more people. But like I said before, man, if it's a problem and you're catching more cases, maybe you just need to stick to the rhythm until we get it all under control. Now, we got some good teams out here. We got some great undefeated teams. Shout out to the champions, still holding it down, man. Kansas City Chiefs. Them boys over there, they're great. Like, you cannot at all, when you see them down, there's no way you can just say they have no chance of coming back. These dudes have came back from 20 points, 15 points. Like, come on, man. They don't get rattled. Them boys deserve their championship. I watched every game. It just seemed like a make-believe story. I didn't understand why you couldn't keep your feet on their neck. Like, how did people keep blowing leads with this team and not just figure out a way to at least slow the game down and figure out something else? Double team Hill, something. Andy Reid is out there acting like he playing Madden. I don't understand how this is happening. You see what they can do. Understand they definitely picked up a nice tailback. Shout out to number 25. He did his thing. Man, the way that Mahomes is getting outside that pocket and slinging that rock down the field is something to behold, man. They got fast people everywhere. The defense is kind of coming together to the point where they just gelling. So I mean, they undefeated, and they've won some strong games. You got some other teams that's undefeated right now, but I'm just letting you know. Bills, they kind of stand out to me too. Josh Allen, shout out to him. He reminds me of a Peyton Manning with mobility. He kind of like throws on the money, but his feet, like he runs, like he gets that extra time for them receivers to get downfield. I appreciate what he does over there. I'm enjoying the NFL, definitely. I hate the fact that, some of them are catching this corona, and it's delaying games or what have you. But like I said, it throws me off to see them traveling from state to state when we got this whole thing with the NBA in the bubble. It makes it seem like what you're telling us is really bullshit. And I don't understand it. I'm enjoying the NFL. Now, when this thing continues, now what's going to piss me off is if they keep delaying games. They keep saying that, oh, yeah, such and such called or whatever. So, I mean, at one point, do you just put everybody in the same place? And I am enjoying the fact that, like, I'm a big Madden head. You know what I'm saying? I'm enjoying the fact that Madden is keeping up with the up-to-dates and giving everybody their up-to-dates by their games and stuff like that. It is weird seeing no fans in the crowd. It's weird. It kind of trips me out as far as like seeing specs. And then half of the time when you're watching this game, you get to thinking to yourself, it's like, if they can travel and do all this, you might as well let more fans in. Might as well. It ain't no point of like keeping people out if y'all gonna let people travel. You might as well just go and knock that out the box. But I will tell you this. I appreciate the NFL for trying to figure out something, to make some type of real life happen again. Some of the things that's going on right now in the country as far as like people making stands by Breonna Taylor, they just released a video on that. That was crazy, how insensitive the police were about that. You have to understand, professional players, some of them have gotten pulled over themselves. Some of them have went through the thing of, basically being racially profiled. But my problem with it is this. I hate that whole saying of, oh, I didn't know it was you. What the fuck does that mean? You didn't know it was me. So it would have been worse if I wasn't somebody? That doesn't make any sense. My whole thing is just do your job according to what your job is. Regardless on if a person look like he can afford an apartment or afford a house or afford this fancy car, don't worry about that. Don't worry about what I'm driving. Don't worry about what's in my pockets. None of that shit. You wasn't with me when I was doing the things to earn this. So don't worry about it. Now, if you jealous, evidently you need to pick a new career. Don't blame me. You chose to be a cop. You chose to protect the law. I'm living my regular life. You supposed to protect me. So that whole thing of, I didn't know who you were, whatever the case may be, that just makes it more of a guilty act. Because to me, it's like, it's trippy how a person that has money, they feel like, oh, I feel like a regular person. I mean, it sounds insensitive. When they get pulled over and get mistreated, they'll be like, I feel like a regular black person. Yeah, you are. To them, you are. You got money, but it makes them feel better to do you like that when you got money. Because they can treat you like, oh, I don't care if you got millions, you still what? A nigga. And that's cold to say. It's reality, though. You never, ever just be like, oh, okay, yeah. People name drop sometimes with the police. Some of them, they look at that and be like, oh, man, I got one. That could go from real bad to worse. I think, matter of fact, one of my mans, Jay Farrell, went through that, walking down to a regular neighborhood. He had to tell them he's Jay Farrell. Well, I got to tell you that. To get me out of trouble? To get me out of this so-called 2020 lynching? Nah, bruh. I shouldn't have to tell you. If I ain't did shit, don't fuck with me. You have to understand, millionaires really try to use their platforms to express themselves, but that's as far as it goes. There's no way they can be into the courtroom and tell these people how to judge it. Not one time have you ever seen any of the celebrities that are standing up for the people now that have been murdered. You don't see them in the courtroom. It's impossible. They got lives. So you have to understand this. It only goes as far as them keep saying it in the media so it could be on everybody's minds. But it's not going to change how they do us. Only way it could possibly change, man, and people say it all the time, is if we get more people of color into judges and, lawyers and stuff like that and into Congress. But we got a while for that. So y'all still working on it. So during the time of working on it, people still going to get killed. It's not stopping. It's not stopping. So y'all can march, because I've marched plenty of times. Y'all can march. I'm happy for you. Happy for everybody marching. But understand this. I think Breonna Taylor people just got settled for $13 to $16 million. They settled. So you know what that means? Really honestly, I believe that family can't even speak on the situation anymore. Once you give money, that really closes it off. But then they just released a video showing how, the police broke in there and did their thing. So that's not, her people doing that. That's TMZ. That's a video just getting leaked. So we'll see how that go if there's another civil suit, but I doubt it. 16 million, that means somebody was sorry and they just gave up money. So in that clause, it's just not 13 million and then go slander us right after. You have to wait or you got to chill. Shout out to Breonna Taylor, man. Much love to her family. It's a damn shame. She left a kid behind. I don't think any amount of money can bring or settle things because that person is still missing. But I guess you could say thank you for your effort, even though it ain't really shit. She still don't grow up with her mother. You know what I mean? And they got $13 million that possibly only $8 million of it she's going to see. So, But as far as like I said, the NFL players, man, I really big ups NFL and NBA. I big ups both of y'all for voicing your opinions and really standing out and doing something for that, because definitely it helps kind of power the movement. And I deeply, deeply appreciate everybody's efforts. But to this COVID thing, man, this shit really ruined people's lives. You got people, real talk, that I've seen personally, had businesses and they just lost their business. Like bona fide, good fucking idea businesses. Gone. People are tired of working for another person, man. So when somebody save up their money, I don't give a fuck how they saved it. If they're not ruining nobody else's lives, if they save it and get it how they get it, man, just because they want to go legit, man, how can you knock that? Shout out to my boy, All Flavors No Grease. Shout out to my homeboy over there, Mr. Fries, man. Big ups to Blue Truck. You know what I mean? Like, these cats, started businesses and put their own spin on food. Came together and making money. Black-owned businesses, bro. Oh, that's the nickname of them? The Food Minottis, man. Shout out to the Food Minottis, man. Listen to me. All Flavors, No Grease. You already know the business, bro. I travels for you, homeboy. You know what I mean? You already know the business. But I shout out Trap Kitchen. Oh, yeah, Trap Kitchen. I've heard of Trap Kitchen, too. I got to go check him out. But the thing about it is this, man. It tripped me out because of his story and how things went down or whatever the case may be. But like I said, with this COVID thing, it slowed up a lot of people's businesses. Some people fell off. Some people are still thriving, like the people I'm talking about. But the people that bought actual storefront properties killed them. Straight up killed them. That's sad, bro. Some people you got to understand something. Some people just ain't good at working for others. When they make their own empire, why not let them get their thing on? But see, with this COVID thing, it stopped people trafficking and everything like that, and it was sad. The people with the trucks kept thriving. They just travel somewhere, be as try to be sanitary as possible. But the thing about it is this. People like myself, people like comedians, people like either any entertainers that had to have crowds with their events shut down. Money wasn't flowing like it was before. You had to make way. People over here jumping on the internet, try to do all kinds of stuff just for people to keep remembering them. I had homies sitting at home becoming great at video games because of the simple fact ain't shit else to do. And video games is dope. Don't get it twisted. But when you a mover and a shaker, you like to be in the streets. You like to be grinding. You like to mingle with people. You like to get on to other gigs. You like being in the loop. This here cut off every mover and shaker known to man. And then it made it to the point where you had to figure out what you good at besides what you already figured out what you was good at. So, a lot of this 2020 was bad. We lost Kobe. We lost Black Panther. We lost a couple other nice, dope figures this year, man, and John Thompson. And it was sad in a sense of a world being under quarantine where people are isolated, and really honestly, man, it seemed like people were going crazy. There was no way of getting back to regular life. You couldn't visit your own people. Couldn't hug your grandma, couldn't go over your sister's house. None of this shit. And then all of a sudden, police killings just uproared the world. And then we had everybody that was under quarantine suddenly out. Quarantine didn't give a fuck about nothing. We had people rubbing elbows, quarantine my ass, protesting about how you killing black people. And it just, the memes of, COVID being basically mad because the riots took over its shine was bananas. We had a whole bunch of stuff going on, man, that I thought was just bullshit on top of bullshit. 2020 happened to be one of the worst years I've ever been a part of in my life. And I lost my mother last year. So, this is right up there with it. Because a man like myself, like I said in this business, my business all revolves around people, events, and mingling. It's a hustle. You know what I'm saying? When it ain't happening, you got to do something else. So they said 2021, we supposed to be doing something lovely. We supposed to be out here really, really holding it down to the point where everything will be somewhat back to normal, like how Florida, like how Atlanta is. But until I see the reports of just pure nothing, no reports of people just flaring up, no hot spots, no nothing else, then I'll be okay with it. You know what I'm saying? But until that point, man, hey, listen, I got a baby girl with cancer, but she's in remission now. You know what I mean? Her clear date is supposed to be in December. I ain't trying to catch nothing to bring nothing back to that little mama at all, man. She didn't fall for 2 years. And she done came out on top, man, and held it down for the whole family. So I got to wait until this thing kind of clear up. I got to wait till this thing really kind of like slows down to the point where I can really make moves in these streets and really get back to the way of good life. Because this is slowing down everything. I'm usually like that type of dude that is in the mix. I'm the dude that mingle with people, get other people to meet other people to get money and, keep it rolling, homie. You know what I mean? And that's just where I come from. So with this show here, you going to get the truth about a lot of shit. Ain't going to be no faking. I'm not going to kiss nobody's ass. None of that. All people that I know. You have to understand. You going to come, if you come to this show, I'm going to ask you some questions. There ain't going to be no personal questions because I don't get down like that. I'm going to ask you about particular things that I feel like are relevant. We going to talk about different little things here and there. If you want to get personal, that's on you. I ain't going to push. I'm just going to make sure that we get down to the nitty gritty. And then when it comes to like really my opinion, it's my opinion. If you don't like my opinion, I mean, you know what it is. You can always not tune in. You can always turn the channel. Or you can just forget all about me. But understand this, I'm still going to be here. And we going to keep this show like cracking. You know what I'm saying? On My Mama is coming from a perspective of, certain things need to be said. And certain things will be said. But you just have to respect what's being said. You know what I mean? So when it comes to this COVID, I really, like to say blessing to everybody that have lost, family members to it, people that have gotten sick. Definitely, try to hold your head up as strong as possible. It's one of the coldest plagues that we've ever came across this year. I mean, period in life, but we getting through it. It seemed like we're going to get over it. It seemed like we're going to get past it. 2021, hope is a good year. I know it's a voting year. I could give two shits about who's going to be the next president. I ain't going to lie to you. I think Cat Williams said it best, man. Can we just be single for a while? You know what I mean? As a country, can we just not have somebody running this shit? Just, everybody vote and just keep it pushing. Because it's just like, Biden is cool. But I mean, hey, man, that man got up under your skin at that debate. I seen it. He had you telling him to shut up and all. You got real personal. So I just look at it like, hey, man, just let us be cool. Trump, go on to your little vacation. Go on, chill out. Because I know you and your wife is probably going to chill out separately. You know what I'm saying? But go chill out somewhere, have a good time, man. Just realize you was the president and keep it a buck and chill. But, I could care less about the voting. I just want whoever that is going to come into office to have some type of sense. And if it's going to be Trump, do what y'all been doing, get your bread, and fuck what he talking about. But you know, that's a cold little lick on COVID, man. Like I said, one of the coldest epidemics, man. But you know, we're gonna get through it, man. 2021 look like it's gonna be a little bit brighter. Hopefully everything moves swell and then we be all right, man. Back to action. And you know, with me going out, man, I like to say a few things. First of all, shout out to my man Jesse Soser. He just passed away. One of my homeboys. When I tell you, at one point when Mouthpiece wasn't really like fully Mouthpiece, I was just a grinder. This man right here used to be one of the coldest hustling homeboys that I've ever had. Times when me and my lady, shout out to my wife Brianna, me and my lady had been homeless a couple of times, as far as like didn't have a place to stay or what have you, you know what I'm saying, in the grind. And my man hooked me up with hotel rooms. You know, he was a hustler. He used to do his thing, throwing parties and carrying on, making his money. You know, he just passed away recently on, he was in New York. He had started a seafood business that was bubbling. And, you know, something happened to him where he seized up and passed away. And when I tell you, it hit me hard because that was one of my main partners where I say, last time I kicked it with him, we was in New York. He was out there hustling. I was out there shooting the show, and he just happened to just be out there. And then he told me, like, hey, man, I got this way we can make some money. I said, okay, man, what you already know the business, I'm down. Next thing I know, we made the money. And it was in one day, and he had a party cracking in one day. So it was just, shout out to my man, Ultimate Hustler. He leaves 3 boys behind. You know what I mean? And one of the most down-to-earth dudes, one of the best hustlers. He'll tell his kids in a heartbeat, you ain't got to hit the streets. You just got to be creative. You know what I mean? So, man, shout out to my homie, man. Rest in peace. Big ups to his 3 little boys. And, in a lot of ways, like I said, man, this show is going to give you my honest opinion about what's going on in my life, what's going on, or should I say what I feel certain people should handle certain situations. If you don't want to handle it my way, that's fine. But this is coming from a true homie's perspective. And understand this, we going to keep this bad boy rocking, man, all day long. You know what it is. It's your boy Mouthpiece, Voice of Venice Beach. Be sure to look me up on IG, Voice of Venice Beach. On Twitter, Mouthpiece the MC. Facebook, JC Mouthpiece Thompson. And also you can check out my new gaming streaming site, JC Mouthpiece Gaming. You know, come and holler at me about that Madden, man. I'm all about it. You know what it is. Mouthpiece, Voice of Venice Beach. Get it!